Buddha's teachings on belief are centered on the idea of personal experience, critical inquiry, and the development of wisdom. Buddhism encourages a balanced and thoughtful approach to belief, rather than blind faith. Here are key aspects of Buddha's teachings on belief. A. Critical examination. The Buddha advised his followers not to accept his teachings or any other beliefs blindly. He encouraged critical examination and skepticism. One famous teaching associated with this is the Kalama Sutta, which advises people to not rely on tradition, hearsay, or authority, but to investigate and evaluate teachings based on their own experience and reason. B. Direct experience. Buddhism places a strong emphasis on direct personal experience. It encourages individuals to explore their own minds through practices like meditation to gain insight into the nature of reality and the truth of the teachings. Belief in Buddhism is often based on one's own experiential understanding rather than on second-hand knowledge. C. Provisional belief, also known as provisional acceptance or pragmatic belief, suggests individuals can accept certain teachings or principles tentatively or provisionally in order to test their validity and effectiveness. It involves a willingness to explore and practice aspects of Buddha's teachings, even if one is not fully convinced or does not have complete faith in them initially. Provisional belief encourages individuals to approach Buddha's teachings with an open and inquisitive mind, rather than rejecting teachings outright. Practitioners are encouraged to explore them, engage in practices associated with those teachings, and observe the effects in their own lives. Individuals can put Buddha's principles into practice in their daily lives. For example, one might experiment with meditation, ethical behavior, or mindfulness to see if these practices lead to greater well-being, inner peace, or understanding. The key aspect of provisional belief is that it is based on personal experience and observation. If a particular teaching or practice yields positive results and aligns with one's own experiential understanding, then one can develop a deeper, more genuine belief in it. Provisional belief discourages blind faith. It encourages practitioners to avoid accepting teachings merely because they are traditional or because an authority figure says so. Instead, it promotes a thoughtful and pragmatic approach to belief. Over time, as individuals engage with Buddhist teachings and practices, their belief in certain aspects of Buddhism may deepen. This deepening of belief is not based on blind acceptance, but on the insights and experiences gained through personal practice. Provisional belief allows for flexibility and adaptation. It recognizes that different individuals may resonate with different aspects of Buddhism, and it doesn't prescribe a one-size-fits-all approach to belief. D. The middle way. Buddhism teaches the middle way, which advocates balance and moderation in beliefs and practices. It encourages avoiding extremes, including excessive attachment to beliefs. The middle way seeks to find a balanced path between skepticism and blind faith. E. Interdependence emphasizes the interconnectedness of all phenomena in the universe. It underlines the idea that everything is interrelated and that nothing exists in isolation. This concept has profound implications for how Buddhists view the world and their ethical and spiritual practices. Buddhism teaches that all things, including individuals, are interconnected and interdependent. This means that every event, object, and being is influenced by and has an impact on everything else. There are no isolated, independent entities in the universe. One of the core teachings related to interdependence is dependent origination, paticca samuppada. It explains that everything arises and exists dependent on various causes and conditions. Nothing has an inherent, unchanging essence. This teaching is often represented in a chain of 12 interconnected links, illustrating how suffering and existence are interdependent. Understanding interdependence has ethical implications. When one recognizes the interconnectedness of all beings, it naturally leads to compassion and a sense of responsibility for the well-being of others. Harming others is seen as harming oneself, as both are interconnected. The concept of interdependence challenges the notion of a separate, permanent self anatta or anatman. Buddhism teaches that the self is an ever-changing process, influenced by the interconnected web of causes and conditions. This challenges the ego's attachment to a fixed and independent identity. Recognizing interdependence extends to the environment. Buddhists are encouraged to practice responsible and sustainable living, as the well-being of all living beings is connected to the health of the planet. The concept of karma, which involves the law of cause and effect, is intertwined with interdependence. One's actions have consequences that ripple through the interconnected web of existence. Rebirth in Buddhism is also seen as the continuation of this karmic interdependence from one life to the next. Meditation practices, such as vipassana insight meditation, aim to help individuals directly experience the interdependent nature of reality. Through mindfulness and meditation, practitioners develop a deep understanding of how thoughts, emotions, and sensations are interrelated. Interdependence fosters a sense of universal compassion and interconnectedness with all beings. It encourages Buddhists to cultivate loving kindness and compassion for all sentient beings, transcending boundaries and divisions. Freedom from dogma. It emphasizes a non-dogmatic and open-minded approach to spirituality and understanding. Buddhism encourages individuals to engage in critical inquiry and independent investigation of its teachings. It advises against accepting beliefs blindly or based solely on tradition, authority, or dogma. The Buddha himself encouraged his followers to question and verify his teachings. Buddhism places a strong emphasis on personal experience as the foundation of belief and understanding. Practitioners are encouraged to directly experience the truth of the teachings through meditation and mindfulness, rather than relying on second-hand knowledge or dogmatic adherence. While there are core teachings, these are open to interpretation and adaptation. This flexibility allows individuals to explore and refine their understanding based on their own experiences and insights. Unlike some religious traditions, Buddhism lacks a central religious authority or hierarchy that imposes dogmas on its adherents. This decentralization fosters a diversity of interpretations and practices within the tradition. Buddhism does not require adherents to recite creeds or make specific doctrinal declarations of faith. Instead, it encourages ethical conduct, meditation, and the cultivation of wisdom as the path to liberation. Freedom from dogma encourages tolerance and inclusivity. Buddhists are often open to dialogue with people of other faiths and philosophies, and they value diverse perspectives. The heart of Buddhism lies in practice rather than in subscribing to a set of beliefs. The emphasis is on applying teachings to one's life and experiencing their transformative effects through practices like meditation, mindfulness, and ethical living. Freedom from dogma aligns with the Buddhist principle of ongoing learning and growth. Buddhists are encouraged to remain open to new insights and to refine their understanding as they progress on the path to awakening. In summary, Buddha's teachings on belief encourage a balanced, open-minded, and experiential approach to spirituality and understanding. They emphasize personal inquiry and direct experience as the basis for belief, rather than relying solely on external authorities or dogma.